Chosen to be the finale reader in a mini feature for the Texas Night Sky Festival. So I had written poetry about astronomy that was put into this chapbook, Night Sky. That is going to be probably in a CC&D collection book in the future, but I've got poems. These are beginning poems that were in this show. Nancy is the only person that none of you guys were there, so I thought I'd share some of these. This first poem was what was an honorable mention for their contest for their performances. So it had to be the first poem that would be in my feature, and it is called Where We've Been and What We've Seen. I have journeyed around the world with you. After all I've seen, I'm now an astronomer, an observer looking out in the night sky, into the universe, out past the solar system, past the Kuiper belt, trying to understand what makes everything, everything. I fly in airplanes, I jump from airplanes, I pilot airplanes getting closer to the stars. Molecule by molecule, we originate from stars, and we are all linked, our bodies formed from stardust. But outer space is a violent place. Violent explosions create the stars, and our Earth has earthquakes, avalanches, volcanoes, El Niños, tornadoes, tsunamis, typhoons, and in all of this madness, somehow I found you. With you, I have watched solar storms from the Arctic Circle's aurora borealis. We've even seen it dance over Greenland from our window 40,000 feet in the sky. I've seen galaxies collide. I've seen comets smash into planets. I've seen supernova and the death of stars. And in all of that, I still found you. As I said before, I'm only an observer. But I've found what I've been looking for. And with these observations, I thee wed. And I'll tighten my grip on your hand when we travel into the night together.
Yeah.
And then I did a couple pieces about the moon, and that's what I'm going to share with you. 2 poems about the moon. This is called Earthrise. It's a pretty daunting task, landing man on the moon. So first things first, NASA had to map the moon fast so they'd know where to land. So we launched Lunar Orbiter 1 to orbit and photograph it. This orbiter had a full photo lab on it.
Wow.
That not only took photos but also developed film in space. Housing huge 70mm film reels, it clicked pics in zero gravity. But then NASA pointed the camera at Earth as an afterthought to see the first Earthrise on film. We raced the Soviet Union for space, but the Earthrise showed the world that we're all on this tiny blue ball. And with this view, all of our problems seemed far too small. This last one is portions from the poem, From Orpheus to Nuking the Moon. I'll say that again so you understand what I'm saying. From Orpheus to Nuking the Moon. Yeah. NASA's artist-in-residence, Laurie Anderson, learned from scientists at NASA that during the Cold War, they considered setting off nuclear bombs on the dark side of the moon. Because, you see, no one sees that side of the moon. No. But astronomers now estimate that because of gravity's change, the moon every year is over an inch and farther, maybe an inch and a half farther away from the Earth. Huh. So, if you remember the moon looking so big when you looked up at it in the night sky when you were younger, well, you may have been right. Thank you. No, it's been nice meeting you, stuff. And I don't have numbers on me, but I already know that I've got my conversations for so.